Yeah, hi there. This is Michael from the 7-Step System to pass the TOEFL IBT. All right, let's take a look. These comments are for Soso. So you sent me two different independent writing practice tests. So you say that it seems I'm not improving. I'm wondering why I'm good at the speaking section and not on the writing. We write what we say, right? No, I'm going to say definitely not. I think there's a big difference between the written and the spoken language. So if you think they're the same, definitely not. I think writing is much more formal. The grammar and the vocabulary is much more formal, I think, in writing than in speaking. And I think in writing we're using a combination of basic and more advanced vocabulary and grammar. And sometimes when we're speaking, we have a tendency to use more simple vocabulary and more basic grammar, but we definitely do not want to do this when we're writing. Okay, let's take a look at both of these essays right now. Now keep in mind that I cannot do this all the time. I'm pretty busy, as you can imagine, and I cannot spend 10 minutes looking over each essay for each student. It would just not be productive for me as a teacher to do that, at least for my service I'm offering for $35 a month. But, all right, let's get started. So your first one is honesty, cleanliness, and trustworthiness are some of the most important characteristics that a roommate should have. Personally, I have a long experience living with others. At the beginning, it was not easy getting along with new roommates, but since we have many in common characteristics, we get along with each other. Okay, first of all, your introduction is too short, right? You want to aim for about 100 words. Secondly, I would put your thesis at the end of your first paragraph, not in the beginning. You're writing the paragraph like a triangle. However, think of your introduction more as an upside down triangle. That means so you start off with kind of more general ideas, and then when you get to the end of the first paragraph, that's where you get your thesis. Okay, paragraph 2, you say, being honest was an important thing I was looking for in my roommate. You're confusing me here. You start off the first sentence in the past tense, and then in the second sentence you start out in the present tense. So I don't think that's going to work very well. You say, I want my roommate to tell me if I'm bothering her and I will do the same thing because I want for our relationship to grow and be friends for a lifetime. Too short. Each of your paragraphs, you need approximately 50 to 150 words with each of your paragraphs. That means you have to have more specific details to support these ideas, so you're not giving enough detailed information to support it. You say if your roommate's bothering her, you have to say something like, for example, if I'm playing my music in the apartment and this bothers my roommate, I hope my roommate will let me know. And that way I'll turn it down. So you definitely need to give a specific example to support that idea. Okay, your paragraph 3, you say, since I am an obsessive person with being clean, it was, again, you're going from present to past, so your verb tense shifts are killing your grammar. You do not want to do that. So I would say it is number one to me that my roommate should be neat, clean, and organized. I would get rid of, you said the word clean as your key point in that third paragraph. I would not talk about neat or organized. To me, those are different ideas, right? Something that you can deal with, in another paper for another time. You said, because it would be easier for us to focus on our studying once I had a roommate that wasn't quite organized, and because of her own room would look like a dumpster. So we used to have many arguments about our unorganized room, and it ended up leaving each other. Now that was actually, you gave an example there, I think, to try to illustrate the idea there, but I think it's your second sentence in that paragraph 3 is killing you. Because the whole purpose of creating your topic sentence is to focus on the idea of clean, right? Just focus on that one thing there. Your verb tense shifts are also causing you some trouble. Let's go to your next paragraph. You say, another important characteristic is to be a trustworthy person. I want to feel I'm able to leave my belongings with someone who won't steal them and keep them in their place where I left them. Which belongings? Jewelry, your iPod, your notebook computer, your iPad, your cell phone. You're not giving any specific details here. You take the TOEFL test, you're going to get killed. You will get killed, I'm telling you, trust me. Okay, let's go to the very last paragraph. You say, those were the 3 most important qualities that my roommate should have in order to have a long-lasting friendship and an easy college life, right? Now, I don't have time to go over the second essay, but I think if I give you comments on this first one, you'll have a pretty good idea on what you want to do to get better. So when we look at the rubrics based on what you did, let me go ahead and click on them. Yeah, you're definitely not going to score 24 on this. You'll probably score between 20 and 22 points. I would say your biggest problems here is you're not giving enough details and explanations and examples to support your ideas. You're also having some problems with your word choice and specifically your verb tenses. You're really struggling with your verb tenses. You need to decide on a consistent verb tense when you're making a position and making an argument, you know, about the qualities of a good roommate. Primarily, you'll be focusing more on the present tense, unless, like one time in your essay, if you do bring up an example from your own personal experience to support an argument you're trying to make, you can definitely use the past tense when you do that. But I think you're very limited, I think, in your vocabulary. You're a little bit limited in your grammar, and I think these problems are causing you to score where you're scoring right now. So what do? How do you get better here? I would highly recommend that you focus on vocabulary lesson 4. Make sure you learn all those words. That's in my first step of my 7-step system. You got to learn the vocabulary words because that helps you when you start getting into details. So instead of saying belongings, you know, you can name specific things. I would also recommend that you focus on grammar lesson 1, grammar lesson 1.1, even grammar lesson 7. You might take some time. I know grammar lesson 7, it takes you to a website where you will actually work on a whole bunch of different things, but when you go to that website, focus on the writing exercises, especially with developing thesis and topic sentences. Right? So anyway, those are some of my basic suggestions right now. So I hope that this gives you a better idea of why you're scoring the way you are. So the question, so you have to ask yourself right now is, you know, what do I do? What do I need to do to break past the 24 barrier? So based on the analysis of the essay that I just looked at, you need to provide more details to help support the generalizations. You need a much longer first paragraph. You need to change where you put your thesis and put it at the end instead of the beginning, right? You also need to limit the number of grammar errors you're making in your writing. So those are some basic things that you can take from my discussion of your essay right now.